Welcome to Colorado's Best Dining Show. This week, we are at Ya's with Bo. He will be preparing scallops.
So, Bo, what dish are you going to prepare first?
Well, today we're going to actually prepare two dishes. We're going to do one appetizer and one entree. First one's going to be something very simple at home that we can do. We're going to do homemade mozzarella and fresh tomato slices. This mozzarella right here actually comes in curd form. What curd is the top of the mozzarella, or fresh skim, if you will. What we do is we put that into a vat of water. It's about 170 degrees. We mix that around very softly to the point where the curd will start to melt and almost form like Play-Doh or clay does. At that point, it's up to your discretion if you choose to make a ball or a log. I like to make logs because of the simple presentation. These heirloom tomatoes came from my garden. We try to grow tomatoes 365 days a year indoors just for Colorado. Fortunately enough, Yaya's is one that uses my produce.
Great.
So I harvested these this morning at 9 o'clock this morning. These are brandy wine tomatoes, yellow and red. Beautiful. Part of this dish is you need a really sharp knife to slice those tomatoes nice and thin.
So can you grow that all year, Bo, or no?
In Colorado, our growing season doesn't allow us to go that long,
right?
Unfortunately. But for the most part, I started these in March of this year, and I still have about 150 to 200 tomatoes ready to come off.
How long does the mozzarella take to prepare that?
The mozzarella from start to finish with boiling the water takes you about 10 minutes to start.
Okay.
It's very simple, like I said, it's just getting it to a pliable form where then you can make your balls or your logs or whatever you're so inclined to do. We're going to add a little grilled radicchio to the dish today. I like radicchio. It has a little bit of sweetness. The grill brings a little bit of bitterness and char to a fresh dish. Something that you always want. You don't ever want the creamy and the acid. You always have to have some different component.
So you throw that on fairly quick. It's only for about 10 seconds, right?
Yeah, you really only need it for about 10 to 30 seconds just to get enough char. It is a leaf, so it will kind of tend to curl, if you will. And then with that, we're just going to put a little bit of fresh micro basil. The micro basil is just the basil tops harvested before the mature basil happens from the big leaves we're used to. And then what we're going to do is finish with one of my favorite things. This is called Maldon sea salt. What Maldon sea salt is it's natural form pans that they sit on the lava rock in the oceans in Hawaii and Polynesian areas. As the tide comes in, the salt goes into these molds, and as it goes out, the salt dries, and we come to these little forms of pyramids, if you will, and flakes.
That's
very beautiful.
So how do you buy that?
Well, you can find that at any of your local markets. Whole Foods will have it. Tony's Market will have it. Whole Foods is just always a good one that I like to go to a lot.
Right.
And that right there finishes your simple caprese.
Well, that looks so colorful. I've noticed that chefs like to present their dishes in color.
We do like color. I like different shapes and colors. Texture is a big thing for me. So when you eat this dish, you'll have the creaminess of the mozzarella, you'll have the sweet acid of the tomatoes, you'll have the bitterness from the grilled radicchio, and then you're going to have a little bit of crunch from that sea salt. So you've got a lot of good components here, and to finish up will be a nice, good texture on your palate.
So we're going to go ahead and start preparing the scallops, correct?
Yes, we are. The next one, that's what our next dish will be. What we want to do is we want to pull down a hot saute pan and put it on about medium heat with a little bit of oil. I like to use an olive oil blend, canola and olive oil. We just want to get that pan a little bit hot right now. While we're waiting for the pan, we're going to put some oil on our scallops here. Once again, the oil blend. Put a little bit of salt and pepper. Here at Yaya's, we like to use toasted black pepper. In order to do that, we take the whole peppercorns and toast them in a saute pan for about 10 minutes. What that'll do is bloom your pepper, so you can have almost more of a spicier or hotter flavor. We're going to set our scallops right here on the flat top now. Give a nice good sear. Now that we have our hot pan, we're going to add a little bit of shallots and garlic to the dish. And we just want to saute that very lightly. So your garlic is a little translucent and your shallots not so much toasted. At this point we're going to add some dates. They tend to be a little sticky right when you cut them, but as you saute them they'll break up a little bit. And now we're going to add our purple barley. What we want on this is a little toast. I have pre-cooked this. We cooked it in water for about 20 minutes, boiled it in water, so you get a little soft and let the husks open up. Now at this point, you can take it off the water and cook to the rest of your desired tenderness. I like mine to be a little soft with a little crunchy. Barley is kind of more of a crunchy grain than a soft grain.
So how long does that take to cook there on the pan?
This right here will take probably about 4 to 5 minutes as we saute it nice and lightly in that oil. As we're doing that, we're going to take a look at our scallops over here. We have a nice beautiful sear on them. That's what you want, is nice good color on the top of your scallops.
And on the scallops, how hot is the grill and how long do they take to cook there?
You probably want a pan or a flat top on medium-high heat. This is on medium-high here. You could do the same in a saute pan at home. Now we're going to deglaze our purple barley with a little bit of frangelico, which is a hazelnut liqueur. All good tastes of the fall right here in this dish.
It's a good thing that there's nothing here that can catch on fire.
Yes, there are some things. Alcohol will always catch on fire, but you can always cook it off very rapidly. Now we're going to add a little heavy whipping cream to our purple barley. And what this does is going to give us a nice viscosity for our starch.
And is there a certain time that you let that, once that cream is in there, cooks for how long?
You just, just look for the viscosity.
Okay.
The thickness of it. As it goes down, it's what I call clam shells, or if you've ever been to the beach and you see the sand fleas go back into the ground when the tide comes up, you'll see these bubbles as they start to do that, kind of in the tide.
Oh yeah.
And that's what we're looking for on that viscosity. And as you approach that point, you know that your starches are becoming nice and thick. We're working some of the starch off the barley now to create that viscosity. We'll put a little fresh parsley there at the end. And we'll just let that reduce a little bit more. Little salt, little pepper. And every good cook will always taste it. Beautiful.
So from start to finish, how long does this dish take to prepare?
Take you about 8 to 10 minutes at the at-home kitchen. We're ready to plate.
Yeah. How do you prepare the plate then, bro?
Alright, so we'll take our purple barley that we've reduced with our dates and frangelico and fresh herbs and shallots and garlic. We're going to place it kind of in the center of the plate. My first chef taught me to make it look like it kind of fell from the sky. So that's what I try to replicate every dish I make. We'll take our scallops. Now you can kind of put them however you'd like on here. Trying to put them on top. You can put them on the corners or around. I'm one that I like my food on top because I like all the flavors to go down from the top to the bottom. And that's what you get in every bite. Take our brown butter here. And this was very simple to make. This was butter, unsalted, on a low heat for probably about 20 to 30 minutes, and actually the sugars in the butter and the solids, they actually caramelize to make this brown color. So then what you want to do is you'll see a little bit of the bottom there, and kind of like sulfates, just drizzle a little on top. Just a little bit around, kind of decorate the plate a little bit.
Right.
Let them know that you got butter on there. We're going to do something that I like to do. A little bit of oil. This is what we call just long chives. Just stick them right there like that. And there you have frangelico purple barley, pan-seared scallops with homemade brown butter.
Wow, that looks great, bro.
Now this is something that isn't on the menu yet at Ya Ya's, we're in the middle of changing our menu. We like to change seasonally, try to do 4 times a year, whereas we're entering into the fall months. So the sous chef, chef de cuisine, and executive chef, we've all been sitting down and trying to plan our new fall menu. So this is just kind of a taste of what fall has to bring us here in Colorado.
All right, Bo, so since we're going into fall, what kind of menu selection are we going to have when we come out this way?
Well, it seems as though, when we get into the fall, we think more of squashes and heavier grains. We are looking at the purple barley as one. Butternut squash, spaghetti squash is some things you tend to see in the fall on menus as well. Mm-hmm. Scallops are always something that I believe, even though we're landlocked, is a good fall dish. Mm-hmm. Keeping it hearty like we did with this dish we just made. Right. We can see maybe a little bit more of exotic fish, of maybe tuna that we don't see so much in Colorado. Mm-hmm. A lot of more grains and more root vegetables is what we call, is what we'll see more in the fall. With some heavier sauce.
And how do they book a reservation?
We can do reservations. We do Open Table, which you can find online at opentable.com. We also do accept reservations through our website at yayasdenver.com. You can also give us a call at 303-741-1110, and we'd be more than happy to take your reservation for you.
At Ya Ya's, the atmosphere and menus are certainly sophisticated. Mosaic tile floors, stone columns, and fabric-covered wall panels are complemented by heavy beamed ceilings, hand-blown chandeliers, and curvy wrought iron railings. The eclectic menu is inspired by a combination of American, French, Italian, and Greek cuisines.